Hi guys, it's Nivek here, your life, mindset and goal achievement coach for millennial women who want to have it all. And I am filming today to give you guys a sneak peek into my morning routine. You guys have probably heard me talk about this before. I am a big fan of morning routines. I think morning routines are what prime you, what set you up for success in the day. If you look at, whoever you define as successful, whether that's entrepreneurs or celebrities or sports people who are phenomenally successful in their life tend to have morning routines. They have quite robust morning routines. They have a set of things that they do every single day. Having said all of that, for me, the really important thing about morning routines, and what a lot of people don't tell you, is that your morning routine should be your morning routine. So although I'm showing you mine and you might read about others, and I certainly encourage you to read about others to get inspiration, the point is you need to find something that works for you, because if you're copying someone else's routine, odds are it's not going to be aligned with your values, it's not going to be aligned with your goals and what you want to achieve, which makes it really, really hard to stick to. So please take everything I'm saying today as inspiration. Some of it might work for you, some of it might not. But either way, I encourage you to start researching and building and developing your own morning routine. Because I believe everyone should have one. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I have a heap of ideas, a whole list of different things that I've tried in morning routines, things that work, things that don't work. So please reach out. I know some people like a really slow start to the morning, some people like a really energetic start to the morning. Whatever works for you. This is also completely possible to achieve even if you're a shift worker. Whatever the start of your day is, that's when your morning routine should be done. So whether that's, for me, it's 5 a.m. If you're a shift worker and you routinely work night shifts, then maybe your morning is a little bit later in the day. Whatever it is, start your day. It's not necessarily morning, but start your day with a routine. The other thing that I think is really important to mention is that for me, my morning routine starts the night before. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck, is if it's 5 a.m. and there's other people in your house and you're trying to be quiet and get things done, if you're looking for clothes or looking for food or whatever it is that you need and you're making noise, it makes it so much harder to do. It's also a really good reason to talk yourself out of it in the morning. It's like, oh, I've got to find clothes to go work out in, or I haven't made breakfast or whatever. So I think your morning routine starts the night before. So for me, that involves getting out my clothes ready for the next morning, prepping breakfast depending on what I've got on for the day and if I'm leaving pretty early, and getting together all the things that I need for my morning routine. So 100% it starts the night before, and it especially starts with getting a good night's sleep. So going to bed early enables you to get up early to actually do your morning routine. If you're routinely staying up past midnight watching TV shows or scrolling social media, it's going to be so much harder to get up earlier to fit a morning routine into your day. So 100% it starts the night before. Getting a good night's sleep is basically the foundation for a morning routine, because if you've slept well, it's a lot easier to get up early and actually start doing things. So the first thing I do every morning is have a big mug of hot lemon water. The reason I have water first thing is because I believe it's so important to hydrate your body first thing in the morning. You've just slept for 7-8 hours. Your body is dehydrated. We need water to function. So 100% big glass. Warm water I find is a little bit nicer on the digestive system. If cold water is your thing, go for it. I know over summer I sometimes find hot water's a bit too much, but it's warm from the tap. It's not boiled. It's got in a 500ml mug, maybe about half a lemon, a quarter to a half of a lemon. Sometimes I'll add apple cider vinegar if I feel like my digestive system needs a bit of a kickstart, but usually lemon's enough. Lemon helps your liver detoxify, it is good for your immune system, it balances your body's pH, and water's water. Like, I think we all know the benefits of drinking more water. So that is the very first thing I do every day. The next thing I like to do, and the next thing that's basically a must do on my list, is some journaling. I think journaling is an absolutely transformative experience for most people. It is the one thing that you can do where you can be completely honest with yourself, and I think this is the biggest thing that we all need to do more of, is being more honest, more truthful, more authentic with ourselves. nobody is ever going to read this, so it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what your partner thinks, your mum thinks, your friends think, your colleagues think. This is just you. It's kind of between you and the universe or God or whoever you believe is out there, but it's yours. Yeah, it's your one place to be truthful. Plus it's basically a free thing to do. Like, yeah, you need a journal, and yes, a prettier journal does make it nicer. This is one I picked up from kikki.K on sale, but any piece of paper will do. The point is, you know, I've got a crappy old biro. The point is just to write. So there are two different ways I like to write. The first is just get up and start writing. No sort of structure, no thought, just write. Don't censor yourself, and just keep going. If I need a little bit more structure, or there's something in particular I'm focusing on within myself, so maybe it's a specific mindset block or limiting belief that I'm working on, then I might have a set of journal questions. And I've got heaps at any one time. I've got a Pinterest board full of them. Pick a journal question, answer that, and just sort of see where it takes you. I usually write for around 10 minutes or so, sometimes longer. The point is, don't censor yourself. This isn't a time to be critical on your spelling or your grammar. You can also technically do it on a computer if you find typing is your thing, or even on your phone, just for something different. I think it's a lot easier to be more truthful and more uncensored when you're writing. For me, if I'm on a computer, I'm a little bit OCD when it comes to those, you know, red and green squiggly lines that tell you something's wrong with your spelling or your grammar. So I have to go back and auto-correct them. But when you're journaling, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you spell shit wrong. It doesn't matter if your handwriting's messy. You don't even need to go back and read it ever again if you don't want to, so it doesn't matter. The point is to just write. For some people, instead of journaling, it might be drawing, it might be painting. Whatever that thing that is for you is a way to express yourself, to express how you're feeling, to express your emotions, to have honest conversations with yourself. I highly encourage you to fit that into your morning routine somewhere. I think it's really, really important to use it as a time to focus on your goals. So quite often I'll journal about what I want to achieve, what goals I'm working on, how I'm tracking towards my goals, those sorts of things. Because that's the point of the morning routine, is to focus on your goals, focus on the things that you're trying to make a reality. Because we all know by the end of the day, shit gets in the way. If you've got kids, you know what an evening is like, you know what witching hours can be like. So 5 a.m. is sometimes the only time you've got to focus on your goals and be honest with yourself and do that personal development stuff that gets lost in the general busyness of the day. So journaling is probably, yeah, the first big thing I do after my lemon water. Excuse me. After I've journaled for, you know, 10, maybe 15 minutes, depending on what's going on, I like to do some reading. I am an avid reader, always have been. I was the girl when I was younger who would stay up late reading books under the covers because I was mad for it. So I now read 2 different times a day. Of a morning I read personal development, of an evening I like to read fiction. I used to read personal development before bed, but the problem is I would get so engrossed in it that I would be up all hours of the night reading and having ideas and wanting to put things into action. Whereas I think if you read personal development first thing in the morning, it gives you an opportunity to put into practice what you've learned for the day. So at the moment I am rereading this divine book by Melissa Ambrosini called Mastering Your Mean Girl. It is all about that self-confidence, self-love, turning off that inner self-critic, which is what she calls her mean girl. It's brilliant. Get your hands on it if you haven't read it already. It is full of really, let me find one for you, really actionable sort of steps, little activities you can do that you can fill out. I would never write in a book, I find that sacrilege, but then that's what the journal is also for, to answer the questions. So I'll read for about 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. If I am short on time any morning, then reading's probably the one thing that I drop off the list. I'll pick it up somewhere else in the day if I can, but if not, it's okay. I think sometimes that's the thing you've got to know with your morning routines. You've got to know what your non-negotiables are and what are the things that you're prepared to compromise if you have a really early start, or you've got kids and you had a bad night's sleep, or you've got toddlers and sometimes toddlers like to surprise you with 5 a.m. wake up calls. So it's important to know what has to happen versus what's a nice to have. For me, reading's a nice to have because I'll always find time to do it anyway. Whereas journaling is a must do. Sometimes that does mean maybe, you know, sitting your little ones in front of the TV for 10 minutes so you can journal. Sorry, I just went cross-eyed because there was a piece of fluff in front of my face. That's so bad. But yeah, like journaling for me has to happen. Reading's a nice to have. So I'll read for about 10 10 minutes or so. And yeah, that's it. So far, reading and journaling, we've got about 20 minutes. That's so far all we've taken. After reading, after journaling, the next thing that I like to do is visualization. For me, visualization is a form of meditation. It's a guided meditation that encourages you to be conscious and picture something within your mind, whereas most meditations are about being quite, I want to say blank, but that's not the right phrase, but quite relaxed, quite unfocused to a certain extent, whereas visualization is about creating that picture. I love a visualization. I love sitting there and visualizing what my ideal day is going to look like, what my life is going to look like in 12 months, what my business is going to look like in 12 months. So I'll do a guided visualization. That's usually only 5 to 10 minutes. Usually only 5 actually. It's usually quite a short one. Again, there's heaps of resources online if you need inspiration for visualizations. Just Google, there's heaps on YouTube of tracks that you can listen to of people talking you through a guided visualization. So that's the next thing I do. After visualizations, I like to do affirmations. Now, affirmations aren't everyone's cup of tea, I know that. Neither is visualization, and probably neither is journaling. But for me, affirmations are a really good way to focus on something in yourself that you want to develop. Build that positive mindset if that's something you're really struggling with. And also a really good way to be a little bit honest with yourself about how you're feeling. So for me, I pick an affirmation usually for a period of a week or so. Affirmations can be anything. I have a Pinterest board full of them if you need inspiration. It could be, I am healthy and I nourish my body every day. It could be, I am abundant and wealth flows to me. It could be that I am worthy of happiness. Whatever it is, you take that affirmation. I highly recommend you stand in front of your mirror and say it. I think it's easy to stand in a darkened room and say, I deserve happiness, I deserve happiness, I deserve happiness. But I think when you can look yourself in the eye in the mirror and say it, it lets you see some truth. It lets you see if you're feeling really incongruent with what you're saying. It lets you see if you're not making eye contact, if your body is tightening, if you're shrinking, or whatever it is, those physical reactions that tell you that this is something I'm really struggling with. And that's the point. To me, an affirmation should be something that challenges you a little bit. It shouldn't be a statement that makes you go, hell yeah, that's true. It should be a statement that you go, I need to work on that a little bit, which is why I'm saying it. So look at yourself in the mirror, say it 4 times, say it multiple times throughout the day, to be honest, but at least do it in the morning if visualization is your thing, if affirmations are your thing. See where you're being really incongruent, feel where it's really incongruent, feel where it makes you uncomfortable, acknowledge that it makes you uncomfortable, but don't hold on to that uncomfortable feeling. You have to go sort of, yep, I acknowledge that it's making me uncomfortable, but I'm going with it anyway, and I'm pushing through it, and I'm believing this anyway. Does that all make sense? Just affirmations. Alright, so that's probably all of a minute's work, realistically. So we're barely up to half an hour at the moment. And I guess that's the point. You need to make your morning routine fit. For some people, a morning routine is 10 minutes. For some people, a morning routine is 2 hours. For me, it's roughly, so this sort of stuff is all half an hour or so. And then after I've done all of that, the next thing I like to do is go for a walk. Usually my son is up by then, he'll come with me. We just walk our streets for around an hour or so. In an ideal world, I'd be walking along a beach or doing a nice hike somewhere beautiful, but I live in the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne, so I walk the streets. I don't listen to music or listen to podcasts while I'm walking, simply because for me, walking is that quiet, meditative time. It's that time to just be and enjoy and be really present and notice my surroundings, enjoy my surroundings. Again, really simple, free, doesn't require a membership. Everyone's got streets you can walk around. And then the last thing is to come home and have a really lovely breakfast to start the day. I think it's really important that you eat of a morning. Again, same logic as your water. You haven't eaten for, maybe closer to 9-10 hours by the time you finish your morning routine and have breakfast. If fasting is your thing, go for it. It's not my thing. I'm usually pretty hungry by this point. And I believe in having a really nourishing breakfast to start your day, to help your mind, to help your body. If I don't have breakfast, I'll find that I'm more likely to binge later in the day, or just lean towards junk, whereas when I have breakfast and I keep eating well during the day, it's a lot easier not to get those cravings, or even if you do get them, to deal with them because you're full and you've had great food and it feels really, really good anyway. So that's my morning routine in a nutshell. I hope it's inspired you. I hope you've got some ideas about how you can make a morning routine that works for you. There are heaps of different things you can do. I know there are people who meditate, who pray, who paint, who draw, who do heavy workouts, who do yoga, who listen to podcasts, watch TED Talks. Like, there are literally a million and one things you can do for your morning routine. I think it's really, really important to make sure that your morning routine suits your goals and your stage of life and what you're trying to achieve. So if you have any questions, please reach out, send me an email, or catch me on social media. Let me know how you're going with your morning routine, and I will be back to see you all soon. Have a good day.